Wedding Crashers is a 2005 American comedy film directed by David Dobkin, written by Stephen Faber and Bob Fisher, starring Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn and Christopher Walken, with Rachel McAdams, Isla Fisher, Bradley Cooper and Jane Seymour in supporting roles. The film follows two divorce mediators, Wilson and Vaughn, who crash weddings in an attempt to meet and seduce women. A sleeper hit, the film opened on July 15, 2005, through New Line Cinema to critical and commercial success, grossing $288.5 million worldwide on just a $40 million budget. It was the sixth highest grossing film of 2005 in the United States and became the first R-rated comedy to make $200 million at the domestic box office. The success of the film has been credited with helping revive the popularity of adult-orientated R-rated comedies. Andrew Panay, co-producer of Wedding Crashers, had the idea for the film based on his own experiences of being excited to attend weddings in his 20s due to his prospect of meeting women. Panay then consulted a screenwriting team of Stephen Faber and Bob Fisher to come up with the story based on the premise. Much of the film is based upon Fisher's experiences as a college intern in Washington, D.C., where he would make up fake backstories to crash lobbyist events. Panay and Fisher's experiences merged together to form the idea of the film, in which the main characters crash weddings in order to meet and sleep with women. The screenwriters had doubts that the premise could be sustained into a feature-length film, so they decided to add female love interests born from the political family, inspired by their dream of marrying a girl from the Kennedy family when they were young boys. It was also Panay's desire to explore male friendship through his crazy idea of crashing weddings as the emotional core of the movie. In preparation for the film, the creators would crash political party platform committee meetings in order to delve into the psyche of the characters and what it means to crash a party. On the 6th of April 2003, Variety reported that Faber and Fisher had struck a mid-six figures deal with New Line Cinema to acquire the pitch for the film. David Dobkin signed on to direct in 2004, seeing it as an opportunity to pair Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, who had previously worked with the director, and gave him an Abbott and Costello impression when they were at the premiere at the film of Shanghai Nights. According to Dobkin, the marketing department of New Line Cinema raised some concerns regarding the protagonists of the film, who were seen as misogynists, whose goal is to seduce women at weddings and have sex with them. The director saw these characters in a different light, however, convincing the department by saying they love weddings authentically, they like the free food, they like the music and the bands, they like the dancing and the kids, they like talking to the grandparents. These guys make weddings better. You want them to crash your wedding. Vaughn and Wilson were the first actors cast in the film. Dobkin later cast Bradley Cooper without even watching his audition tape, as he was so impressed by the actor's test reading. Isla Fisher, a relatively unknown actress, was cast as Gloria over Shannon Elizabeth and Anna Paquin. The casting of Secretary Cleary was a contentious issue between Dobkin and the studio executives, with Dobkin wanting to cast Christopher Walken, but New Line Cinema wanting a more comedic actor such as Burt Reynolds instead of Walken, who was viewed as a serious actor. The role of Claire was the final role to be cast, with Dobkin auditioning over 200 actresses before casting Rachel McAdams. Director David Dobkin originally considered the possibility of releasing a version of the film that was not R-rated in order to broaden the film's commercial appeal, but the idea was abandoned after a consultant provided a long list of many R-rated elements in the film, and Dobkin realized the two funniest scenes in the movie would have to go. Despite this, New Line Cinema still did not want the film to be R-rated, but eventually conceded to keeping the R rating after pressure from Dobkin. Dobkin insisted on a 3.5 weeks of rehearsals before filming began based on his own background in the theatre. The film had a 52-day shoot schedule. Director David Dobkin said Owen Wilson was nervous for the scene where he grabs Jane Seymour's breast. He didn't really want to squeeze her breast while she was telling him to. And I was like, dude, you gotta do it. It just looks right. Your hands look like crab claws. And then he eventually did it, and the scene ended up being way funnier than I thought it was going to be, Dobkin said. The family dinner scene had been cited by Keir O'Donnell as the most grueling scene to film, with Vaughn stating that the cast and crew were unsure if the scene would even work on the screen in any way in which it was intended. To shoot the scene in which the family plays football, Dobkin, an avid fan of NFL, shot the scene in the manner in which TV crew broadcasts an NFL game in order to make the scene seem more authentic and familiar to the audience. Throughout the filming of the movie, the producers encouraged improvisation from the cast, specifically from Wilson and Vaughn, leaving breaks in the script for the cast to improvise. In one scene, Vaughn improvises over 25 seconds straight. The creators of the film made a reality TV prank show spin-off called The Real Wedding Crashers, which aired on NBC in April and May 2007. The series only lasted 4 episodes before being cancelled by NBC. In 2014, Wedding Crashers director David Dobkin said that he, Vaughn and Wilson once had came up with the idea for a sequel in which John and Jeremy find themselves competing with a superior wedding crasher played by Daniel Craig, but that idea never went beyond the discussion phase. The cast includes Owen Wilson as John Beckwith and Vince Vaughn as Jeremy Gray, two divorce mediators who crash weddings under the false identities to meet and have sex with women. Christopher Walken as U.S. Secretary William Cleary, Rachel McAdams as Claire Cleary, William and Kathleen's daughter and John's love interest. Isla Fisher as Gloria Cleary, William and Kathleen's daughter and Jeremy's love interest. Jane Seymour as Kathleen Cleary, William's wife. Ciara O'Donnell as Todd Cleary, William and Kathleen's son. Bradley Cooper as Sack Lodge, Claire's boyfriend and later fiancé. And Will Ferrell as Shaz Reinhold, the wedding crasher mentor. Arizona Senator and 2008 Republican presidential nominee John McCain made a cameo appearance in the film. McCain was criticized for his appearance in the film, having previously called out Hollywood for marketing R-rated films to teenagers. Now, Wedding Crashers is both a raunchy and sweet, over-the-top comedy, and really brings out the best here of Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, who have such perfect chemistry and play off each other absolutely splendidly. They're basically playing extended versions of themselves, and that's what makes the movie work so well. Look, I can see what people are saying initially, that on first viewing, these two guys are really just awful, trying to pick up women who are vulnerable at weddings, but that is wherein lies the comedy. It's misguided, it's over the top, frankly downright silly, but at the end of the day, it really does provide you with a fantastic laugh. I really enjoyed Vince Vaughn here. He's always played this type of role so well, and he's really the soul of the movie in many ways. It's his deadpan performance, his sort of strange intellect, and the way he just sort of rattles off lines that really makes his comedic performance work so well within this film. In saying that, though, Owen Wilson also sort of plays the lovelorn, romantic John Beckworth as the more straight man, trying now to win over the affections of Rachel McAdams as Claire. Seeing Christopher Walken in this type of role as well is excellent, because he's just this kind of actor that can pretty much play any type of role, albeit always being Christopher Walken. What I really enjoyed about this film, though, was the introduction of actors at the time that weren't really well known, namely Rachel McAdams, Isla Fisher, and of course the wonderful Bradley Cooper, who have all gone on to carve such fantastic careers, particularly in drama for Cooper and McAdams. But Cooper plays this role so well as the over-the-top jock who bullies his way into making Claire his bride-to-be. And the chemistry is relatively good between Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams here. Maybe not entirely believable, but hey, they make it sort of work. There are some over-the-top and overly hilarious scenes here that will make you laugh out loud. And I must give a shout out to Ciara O'Donnell here as Todd Cleary, William and Kathleen's son. He's very offbeat and artistic, and of course hasn't opened up to his parents about his sexuality, but he plays this role so perfectly well, and the scenes are just absolutely hilarious with him in. Look, this is a fun, easygoing comedy with a bit of an adult edge just to make it rounded off. The ending is a bit rushed and it is a little bit too far-fetched, but hey, you're not watching this film for a serious story, are you? One of my absolute favourite things in the whole movie has to be the little cameo right at the end by the fantastic Will Ferrell as Chaz. He's the writer of the book, per se, on how to crash weddings, and now, of course, is beginning to crash funerals. It's just such a brilliant little performance from this fantastic comedian actor. As I say, this is a fantastically fun movie, which will provide you with good laughs and let you escape from the world for its 2-hour running time. Wedding Crashers gets an 8.5 out of 10.